Usually I am not one of those to cover the Xbox sales until Wednesday every single week. However, Xbox have now decided to drop a Beyond Countdown sale out of absolutely nowhere, and there are some huge games down by 90% or even more. Stuff like Hell Is Us, The Surge 2, and so many more you definitely won't want to miss. Do make sure as well to comment below and let me know your favourite today, as you will be entered into a free Xbox game giveaway which will take place later on this week. With that though, let's just dive into the games you need to grab as soon as possible, as this sale ends in just over 72 hours. I might as well highlight a really obscure title to start off this video today, as it's one you've probably never even heard of before. Welcome to Paradise is essentially a goofy zombie game mixed with a tropical vacation gone wrong in the best possible way. As you can see, it is a top-down twin-stick shooter, and as a result, the gameplay is pretty well structured. You can give your own mind a break because all you have to do is just mow down or even shoot the zombies, so it's a fairly simple premise. There are some unique gameplay elements here and there that you do have at your disposal as well, such as making sure you don't become dehydrated in the desert due to the intense heat, etc, etc. I will say it is a hack and slash game and it doesn't get too much in depth other than that, so please don't expect any groundbreaking story here. Instead, it's a good game, nothing more and nothing less, but at £12.24, it's definitely worth grabbing this week. Not every superhero game needs to nail its launch, like we saw with the Suicide Squad, but Gotham Knights has grown into a better experience than many expected over time. In this one, you step into the boots of either Batgirl, Robin, Nightwing, or even Red Hood, patrolling Gotham in Batman's absence. This means each of the heroes have their own distinct abilities, which makes combat and court feel very varied in the new world of Gotham City. The city itself though is actually quite sprawling, with lots of crimes for you to stop, secrets for you to uncover, and even though the storytelling isn't as tight as the Arkham series, it's still pretty decent. What redeems it is the sheer amount of content, gear progression, and just the ability to tackle it with friends, which is quite nice to see this day and age. I still place it below the Arkham game series in terms of its quality, especially as they did try to push it down the live service route before pivoting, and you can still see that within the menus. However, at just £6.50, I still think it's worth it, especially for that price tag. You may have seen it on Game Pass a few months back now, but Headbangers Rhythm Royale is a hilariously chaotic rhythm-based party game where you compete in musical minigames as pigeons. It is designed for online multiplayer mayhem, and it combines the wacky energy of a battle royale experience, but with the fast-paced challenge of rhythm-based timing. You will be facing off in different games that will test everything from your memory and reflexes to your sense of rhythm, and is all kind of wrapped up in quirky animations and upbeat music. It has dozens of games here, alongside customizable birds and frequent updates, and it's surprisingly addictive whether you're in it to win it or just laugh at all the chaos. I really love this one when playing with my own friends over on Game Pass, and with it being 90% off, it's a worthy recommendation. I know this one used to be on Xbox Game Pass, so it's no longer available now, but it's a good time to grab it while it's no longer on the service. One game that many of you have probably neglected over the years is Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2, and if you're a stealth game fanatic, then this is one to put in your basket as soon as possible. What's great is that they decided to drop the price by 90%, and you can get it now for as little as £4. This game gives you exactly what you kind of expect from a sequel from this long-running series. There are new gadgets, weapons, locations, slightly improved visuals, AI that then ranges from Stephen Hawking IQ to the average Karen, and that's all alongside a story you probably still don't care about. When you're picking up this one though, you're really here for the sniping, and in that regard, most people will be incredibly satisfied with Contracts 2. For me, it's one of the best stealth and sniper games that I've ever played, even 4 years after its initial release. Graphically, it still looks phenomenal, and once you pair it with the gameplay and the graphics together, the price tag certainly justifies a purchase within this sale. This next game is the definition of one that really didn't need to exist. The original Surge game had a lot of charm for being a lesser known game, and it was for the most part a very unique and polished experience. This newer game though within the franchise improved on a few things while making some very strange and just totally disappointing choices. When you jump into the Surge 2, you will notice that the combat is far improved from the original. It's overall faster and less clunky. They also added a cool directional parry system where you were heavily incentivized to use it, alongside tons of weapons and armors. I was never a big fan of the story, as it was pretty lackluster compared to the original, and I think that's why I probably wouldn't recommend it if it was priced any higher today. Overall though, the game feels like it was made by a fan of the original, but without any real direction. But at just £3.74, it's totally worth diving into for the combat alone. A recent release which actually came to us in just September of 2025 was Hell Is Us, and this is such an underrated game that needs a ton more praise than it really gets. To give you an idea, this one drops you into the world of Hidea, and things are far from normal as the country is going through a civil war. This one is part Souls-like, part adventure game, and part detective simulator, but this gigantuan puzzler is very dense, immaculately detailed, and devilishly dark. Honestly, you won't play anything else like it in this generation. Hell Is Us does not feature a traditional map or even a marker system. Instead, almost everything you need to navigate his world is in its environmental details. It really is such a unique approach, and it works so bloody well, which I was really surprised about, as the mature and dark tones really draw you in. It is 40% off, which is the lowest price for this one ever, and I highly recommend it above all else in this video today. Kingdoms of Amalur: Re-Reckoning is one of those games that deserved a second life, and it did actually get one. This remastered version sharpens the visuals alongside smoother combat and all the content from the sprawling 2012 RPG. The world of Amalur is just bursting with so much lore. It's all written in part by fantasy author R.A. Salvatore, and its combat system remains its biggest strength, as it's very fluid, fast, and dynamic, especially for a game that came out before modern action RPGs really did take over. There's enough loot, quests, and side stories to keep you busy for weeks, yet it really is approachable for newcomers of this franchise. At £12 for the Fate Edition, which I'm including today, it's also worth grabbing, as you do get the Fatesworn DLC, which adds an additional 5 hours of gameplay, and that's alongside a digital version of the soundtrack if you're interested in that sort of thing as well. It's no surprise, as I have mentioned it time and time again, but I'm a massive fan of the Assassin's Creed franchise, and although I wasn't the biggest fan of Ubisoft deciding to make them more RPG heavy compared to the original stealth antics that they used to aim for, I really did enjoy Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I think it's solely due to the location, because the world of England during this period is utterly fantastic, and I will always recommend it due to the amount of content you get in the base game alone. The package I'm including in this video today though is the Ragnarok edition, which of course includes the base game but also the pretty great Ragnarok expansion. This one actually plunges Eivor into the realm of Norse myth as Odin, and you must tackle different otherworldly enemies in some pretty insane combat for this series. Again, it is 75% off, which is the lowest yet, and this one is my favourite alongside Origins in this new era of AC games. My favourite shooter of this entire generation has to be Hell Let Loose, and although it's not everybody's cup of tea, I truly love this more authentic FPS experience. This is a game that really thrives on its realism, as it will throw 100 players onto massive World War II battlefields where tactics matter most. There's no running and gunning here like the Call of Duty series, as a single shot can end you instantly, so stuff like patience, positioning, and proper teamwork are what decide matches and who the winner is. The real magic comes from the communication though, as hearing squads coordinate attacks, commanders just arguing over different strategies, or someone blasting music moments before getting wiped out never gets old. With 75% off for the Ultimate Edition this week is a massive price drop, and includes a ton of cosmetics for your soldiers if that's your sort of thing. It also recently left Xbox Game Pass, so I do highly recommend grabbing it as soon as you can if you still wanted to take part in it. At just £12 with 60% off, Ship of Fools is a frantic roguelike co-op naval combat game where teamwork isn't just helpful, it really is essential. You and your partner, or should I say AI companion, are tasked with defending your ship from monstrous sea creatures while navigating treacherous waters and upgrading your vessel between islands. The edition that I'm including today includes some bonus content like exclusive items, new ship skins, and additional relics that really spice up your runs. With its tight controls, escalating difficulty, and just wildly entertaining enemy designs, it really keeps each playthrough incredibly fresh. I absolutely love the gorgeous hand-drawn visuals here, and it's a quirky tone that gives the game a lot of personality, whilst that roguelike progression loop really ensures there's always a reason for you to go back into the sea. Quite rightly, I'm certainly not old enough to understand the hype of the Jagged Alliance series, but I do know they are all heavily praised by many out there. I only have experience of this third entry today, but I've heard the previous two are absolute classics, and this one really stands tall with those experiences. I will say from my personal experience, it is a solid turn-based strategy game with lovingly detailed characters, it has great graphics, and above all, some fantastic sound design. If you enjoy turn-based strategy and want to assemble your own mercenaries, some of whom really won't like each other, and equip them, then this is the game for you. It can be difficult at times for newcomers, as it is certainly more aimed at seasoned veterans of the strategy genre as a whole, but I think that's why it's so beloved by many fans out there. It's now down to just 20 quid, which is the lowest price yet, and I highly recommend it if you're a strategy fan. Now, this is actually one of those rare moments within this video where the price completely reframes the entire game. At full cost, Monster Energy Supercross 4 is something you'd have to really want, but at £2.50 it suddenly becomes a no-brainer purchase. What surprised me most is just how technical this game can get. It isn't an arcade racer that you can coast through, as the bikes have different weight, timing matters, and learning how to attack a track properly makes a huge difference. Once you stop fighting the handling, it becomes a genuinely satisfying motorbike game. Races are short, yes, but career mode is very straightforward and is perfect for some quick sessions here and there. It's not a flashy or even a loud game, but it doesn't need to be, and for this price point, you're getting a solid skill-based racing game that really rewards your patience far more than just button mashing. You may know by now, but I'm a massive fan of Dredge, and this one not only starts off almost relaxing with stuff like fishing, upgrading your boat, and drifting between quiet islands, but all of a sudden there's a massive twist that occurs at night. What I love most about this game is just how seamlessly it blends different systems, that being the inventory management, exploration, light horror, and even storytelling, as it all feeds into each other without breaking immersion. The Complete Edition, which I'm highlighting, adds meaningful content that deepens the world instead of bloating it, and you even get the lovely 3 DLC packs which add way more content. Of course, £20 is never going to be a cheap deal compared to others on this list today, but this is one of those games that really sticks with you long after the credits roll. If you do want to own the game, then I do recommend it, even though it's on Xbox Game Pass for you to try right now. Elex II continued Piranha Bytes' reputation for sprawling, rough around the edges RPGs that reward persistence. This one though is set in a more sci-fi sort of fantasy hybrid world where you return as Jax, once again tasked with uniting factions against a looming threat. The game thrives on choice here, as you can align with different groups, influence your storylines, and basically shape the entire world and how it reacts to you. The combat can certainly feel a little bit clunky, but that freedom to explore, jetpack across landscapes, and just approach quests however you want really makes up for it. Fans of stuff like Gothic or even Risen will feel right at home here. It's unpolished but just brimming with so much ambition. At £10 thanks to an 80% discount is a solid pick this week, even with all of those rough edges. I actually managed to pick up the Collector's Edition recently, as I really did enjoy my time with this game. I just wish it had way more attention because it can be bloody fantastic at time to time. Are there any games that you managed to grab in the sale? You'll have to let me know down below, and also let me know if I've missed any off this list today that you recommend to the rest of our Xbox community. Do like this video if you did enjoy videos like these and want to see more, and subscribe as I will be uploading Xbox content on a daily basis. If Xbox content is your thing though, then do check out the video on screen now. I actually covered 12 brand new Xbox and Xbox Game Pass games heading our way this week, and there's a few titles you need to be aware of.